YouTube, what is going on? Theo Bean here. Last night was the 2022 Game Awards, and of course, we had a special appearance by Mr. Yoshi P himself, and we got a brand new trailer for Final Fantasy 16. So, of course, I had to make a video on it because I love this game. It's going to be so sick, and it's just what I do. This is what I love. This is what this channel is about. So, yes, technically I have seen this trailer before. I was on the phone with my best friend when it came out. Kind of saw it, watched it again after the award show was over. But we're going to be going through, kind of breaking it down as we're going through the video. Kind of see if we can notice anything different, any new details, things like that. And then, of course, we'll kind of look at the website or some of the new details that just dropped with the new trailer. They've been updating the website and kind of what's going on with that as well. So with that, let's get into it. All right, here we go. 1440, the Revenge trailer. Let's do it.
Take Joshua and get to safety.
I'm not going without you.
I'm going to hold the enemy here while you make your escape. Your Highness! Run! No!
Clive!
Joshua! Revenge is a weapon. I sometimes wonder if I am controlling it, or if it's controlling me. No matter how bitter the truth that awaits me, I will press on. Good boy.
What do we do?
The usual. 13 years I've waited for this chance. I won't be dying today. Come to me, Ifrit!
And there's our date. That is June 22nd of next year. We finally have a release date. That gives us about 3 months of Tears of the Kingdom. And then from that, we're going straight into 16. So really quick first, we're going to go through and kind of break it down. I just wanted to play through it first. So normally, right, if you go to the website, like we've done in the past videos, you can look at the different characters. But for whatever reason, that tab to the Final Fantasy 16 website is down. It's getting this 404 error. I even tried with the other things, the world thing too. That page is also down. Pre-order works. But with that, we still have the information on our two final characters. I'm assuming final characters, right? That they're going to be giving us some information on. First one's going to be Sid or Sidolphus, right? He is going to be the dominant for Ramu. As it says here, I believe this is just the pictures and stuff that was taken on the page that was for the characters. So thank you to Noisy Pixel for doing that. There's a few other websites that do that as well. But Sid or Sidolphus, also known as Sid, is a soldier turned outlaw who strives to protect persecuted bears, and dominance at the mercy of the government, advocating the realization of a place where anyone can die on their own terms. He is also active in many other areas, such as researching the looming threat that is undermining the continent. Curious as to what that is. That maybe that could be due with the crystals losing their power and why the war is breaking out. We will see. Sid also became the dominant of the icon Ramu. Shortly after awakening on the shores of Valisthea, when rising the ranks of the Royal Walder Armory, he would eventually encounter Benedicta Harmon. Lastly, as his namesake would suggest, he is a man of science, researching how one can live in the Deadlands. Then we have Jill, right? Jill's been introduced to us from the first trailer, but now we see her in her adult form. We know that this is in fact the same character that we've seen with Clive, and she is also going to be the dominant for Shiva. Yep, and then you see, right, we've seen this before, the older picture of Jill when she's younger, because we have the 2 flashbacks. We'll go over that as well. And then we have older Jill now. Now we know, confirmed, that is in fact her, actually. As a child, she was sent by the northern tribes to Rosalia as a sign of peace and was sent to live with the Rosefields. She grew up with Clive and Joshua, and they became like brother and sister. She was a kind-hearted girl who cared for the 2 of them, and was a good friend to them. However, due to a strange fate, she eventually awakened as Shiva's dominant. So they leave that very open-ended. And of course, our pup friend that we have, hopefully it looks like we will be able to pet in the game, because, you know, everybody loves doggos. We love doggos. Torgal. Torgal is a wolf from the northern part of the continent. He was raised in the Rosefield household after Clive and Joshua's father, Archduke Elwyn, brought him home after he was found to be separated from his pack during an expedition to the north. Torgal survived a terrible tragedy in his childhood and was eventually reunited with Clive, who became his trustworthy companion on his arduous journey. All right. So we also have some new screenshots here. These are all taken from the trailer. These are not. This is some part of Valisthea. Which region this is going to be exactly, I do not know. Looks absolutely incredible. We have some wild chocobos here. Also, I'm doing this first. I will say this. I am going over this stuff first before we go into the trailer breakdown, because it's going to kind of help add some context to it just from the stuff I've seen. So here we go. Here we have what looks like to be one of the source of the crystals. We have Jill and we have Sid with Clive. My God, I can't believe I can't remember that. Anyways, at one of the crystals here, and we have the dog as well, whose name is Torgal. Torgal, Sid, and Jill. So here we have our first shot of what looks like to be our abilities. It looks like we're going to have different trees that we can use these points on. I'm assuming these are going to most likely be experience that we gain from battle. And using this experience, we're going to put them into skills, which will help us with different combos. It's going to assume it might be kind of similar with like our attacks, things like that. Similar to that, like of Devil May Cry 5. How that exactly will work, I do not know. We have some different abilities ranging in different skills. This one seems to be 300. Meanwhile, these are only 20, 15, 10, 40 most likely. While this one is 200. Here we can also see, I'm assuming this is just our base for maybe Ifrit, or just our basic attacks, or our normal attacks that we would have. Here we have the picture of Gruta, so this is most likely going to be abilities when we're using Gruta. So we can see it's skill costing 1540 most likely, so obviously a lot more. Here we see some more HUD, kind of similar to everything we saw in the second trailer here. Here we do see what looks like to be outline of Torgal next to us, which might just be indicating that he is one of our allies that's fighting. Has been confirmed through articles that this will be a single player game. We will only be playing as Clive, so we won't have the ability to play as either Sid, Jill, or any other characters. Other than that, everything else here looks pretty straightforward. HUD marker here, maybe for a quest or an objective we have. This symbol actually is very similar to this, but not quite looking at it now. That symbol might have significance. Maybe it's going to be the symbol that they use to indicate our next quest objective regarding crystals. We will see. Here it looks like we have Sid's perspective. This is not Clive. This looks like we are fighting the Dragoon. Maybe what I just said was actually bunch of shit. Sick, heal, ravage. So this is also Torgal here, it looks like. Maybe this part we do play as Sid for a specific encounter. Who knows? Here we have Sid again. This lightning here is kind of out of context. This picture is a little pixelated. Here, this is a picture from the screenshots that we've seen. So that's just going to be going into that. So let's go through the trailer again and kind of break down some of the different things we saw.
Take Joshua and get to safety.
So here we kind of have more context. Whatever it looks like they're being attacked. This is a scene where I believe their father most likely is going to die. We see the man approaching Joshua. This is where he most likely also turns into Phoenix.
I'm going to hold the enemy here while you make your escape.
This is also before the time jump. Kokobo is killed. Saj.
Your Highness! Run!
Same guy we saw in the last trailer.
No!
I also do want to point out it looks like this guy appears to be wearing the exact same armor, so he might be like a traitor. He's wearing the exact same armor as their kingdom, so that is pretty interesting in itself. Why this is happening. Maybe he could be a spy, who knows, right? But he is part of the army that serves assuming the Rosefields, their family, everything like that in that kingdom.
No! Joshua!
Here we have our first scene of breakdown of combat. No HUD for this. Looks like we're just fighting some dog wolf-like enemies. This part we're fighting some sort of figure that is very, very hard to tell what it is that we're fighting. I'm going to assume this is kind of done on purpose. Who exactly this is, they're not really trying to make it too obvious at this point. Here we're using one of Garuda's abilities, though, into one of Titan's abilities, and then into Ramu and Ifrit abilities right there.
Revenge.
Here we see this battle, right, which we've seen in the last two trailers as well. Which two armies these are exactly, I'm not sure. This is also older Clive.
Revenge
As we can see, he has the tattoo on his face. Looks a lot older.
is a weapon.
And here we see a massive shot of Odin, just to see how big he is compared to everything else. And he probably just killed close to 100 people with one swing of his sword. Here we have Shiva, or Jill. Looks to be the exact same area.
Sometimes wonder if I am controlling it, or if it's controlling me.
Here we have another look at our masked figure. This has not been revealed who exactly this is. Obviously, this is most likely the icon or the dominant for the Dark Ifrit, which we'll see here in a little bit. Who this person may be might be somebody that's revealed to us early on. We just don't know who that is. It seems to be kind of things that happen a lot in media, movies, games, things like that. The characters introduced early on, you don't think anything of them. Turns out they were doing something. I don't know. That could very well not be the case. We will see. Back to the Garuda versus Clive scene from we saw from the second trailer, but with more context. And this is the first time we see Clive transform into Ifrit, and this is so badass. Into the cutscene, like combat. Boom. So this appears to be another area here. Where exactly this is, I don't know. Some sort of castle, one of the other kingdoms inside a crystal, most likely. It is absolutely incredible looking. And we are fighting some sort of dragon that is different from Bahamut. Different face and structure, almost like an icy dragon. Who this exactly will be, I'm not sure. But here we can see we have Jill, we have Sid, and Torgal with us. So this is most likely going to be our allies throughout the game. You'll kind of see them a little bit more here through the other shots as well. The scene versus the Dragoon, which we saw in the first trailer, I believe. Sorry, this is actually the fourth trailer. I do apologize. The first trailer was didn't have any. The first trailer with gameplay. I will say that, or combat. Actually, it's not true either. Disregard that. This appears to look like almost, I'm gonna guess, Odin's ability. And we see Clive wielding this super badass looking sword here. Bahamut wings straight into this cutscene. There we can kind of get a shot of the sword. Absolutely badass looking. If this is Odin's sword, let's see if we can tell. Do we get to see Odin's sword? It looks pretty similar. Hard to say if that is exactly it, but this appears to be a Odin ability. That's what I'm gonna bet my money on. Badass shot though of Odin on his horse. Boom. Dark Ifrit.
No matter how bitter the truth that awaits me, I will press on.
Chocobos.
What do we do?
The usual. 13 years I've waited.
Here, this is pretty relevant. Here we see older Clive with Joshua, and he's going to say something pretty important here. We also see what looks like phoenix wings in the background, so almost in a volcano-like area.
13 years I've waited for this chance. I won't be dying today. Come to me, Ifrit!
Here we get the super fucking montage of Ifrit versus Titan, as well as some other characters. Look how big this scene is. Super short. Look how big Titan is compared to Ifrit. He's as big as his head alone, which Titan's pretty massive, as we can tell just from this shot alone. And then here we have this thing from that other trailer. And then just to put into context how big this thing is, it's absolutely insane. We're pretty far away from his head here and his body. And look how tiny Ifrit is compared to this tentacle. Like, he's an ant compared to this thing. And you're an ant compared to Ifrit. So just to put into context how massive this icon or dominant is, whatever it is, it's insane. This is going to be so cool to fight. That's actually cool. It's the first time we've seen the D transition. And there's our date again. June 22nd. I cannot wait. Exclusive PS5. So that is pretty much it. This just looks so damn good. Every single trailer, I will be honest, I don't think they kept it fairly close to the chest with this one. I mean, they showed a lot in the last one, to be fair. A little more glimpse, more context, I guess, as to who our friends are and things like that. And we're kind of getting a general timeline put together from everything we've seen from the trailer so far. But that is going to be it for this one. Man, I cannot wait for this game. It looks so good. I really can't put into words how juiced I am for this. But that is going to be it for this one. I will see you guys in the next trailer, the next time we get some more big news for Final Fantasy 16. And I hope you all have a good one. Until next time, peace, deuces, see ya. Bye-bye.